Oh man, my underwears are riding up. What? Or we're rolling. Oh, that's a little TMI for first thing in the morning. Hey, I said last week, see you next Tuesday, and I meant it. That's a dirty joke. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's 5:10 a.m. Welcome to Live and Learn, the gratitude show that we do first thing in the morning on the way to work, where I frame my day with gratitude. It's true. I adjust my attitude with gratitude. I mind my attitude with gratitude. And it's been the best thing for me. Okay, no unhoused person in the blind alley. It's about 51 degrees out. There's one over there in the square. Oh, good. The train's going to be on time this morning, allegedly. Allegedly. Here we are at the head house, free of the unhoused. It's like 51 degrees. And let's get to it. And let's bless them and send them some spiritual energy. And also keep your head up. See, 5:11 a.m. There you go. Ashmont train in 7 minutes. Wow. They know what time to send this first train. That's amazing, huh? Wow. Wow. Speaking of wow, let's get patriotic. And we also, first thing in the morning, we start off like school children. Why not? Keep it simple. With the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's right. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Let's get it on! Yep, let's get it on. Good morning, and I frame my day with gratitude. I wake up at 3:37 a.m. every morning, roll out of bed, pop some panic pills into my head and my cholesterol statin of that age. And it's helping too. My last blood check, my cholesterol was at 199, which is like almost 100 points lower than last year, and I'm grateful and blessed for that. And having a doctor, we'll get to gratitude because it's coming up right now. But gratitude, first thing in the morning, what I did is I made a gratitude list. I've been writing them down. I've been doing them for 5 years now. And I noticed that when my day went sideways and I wasn't having a very good time and my mind was clobbered with thoughts and negativity and a roundabout self-talk that wasn't seeming to fix anything, I would read my old gratitude lists, and it had this amazing ability to arrest the inertia of that sideways. And I literally could stop what I was doing and make a choice. I made a new choice for, I could choose to be grumpy still, but that's a conscious choice. Or I could choose to do something else. Do something new, do something different. So, I can choose to have a better day. And it reformatted my self-talk, where I now have the ability to say to myself, how is this helping? You gotta run your anger, or your anger will run you. You gotta run your day, or your day will run you. It's amazing. the power that this had for me to reformat my self-talk. Like, I suffer from the chronic mopies, the chronic lonelies, and the chronic mopies and the chronic lonelies and the chronic angries, and I have all my life. And this gratitude list has been the most helpful and successful tool in my coping mechanisms. Seriously, I want to pay this forward. I want to tell the world. So I roll out of bed every day, 3:37 a.m. on weekdays, work days. I already have 8 things to be grateful for because I've been practicing. I do this every day. I start off my gratitude list with what I refer to as the Foundation 8. I am grateful for my family, my friends, my faith, my freedom, my health, my union job, a good night's sleep, and a solid breakfast. And from there, I elaborate and I build on that list. Such as, I used to write them down on a legal pad with blue pen. It had to be blue, ballpoint, medium tip. Okay, hello. Very picky. I like blue ink. You know what I mean? I don't want that smudging ink. I don't want a fine point. I don't want black ink. It's got nothing to do with giving lefties leverage on social issues. No, I just like blue ink. Yeah, and I have a whole bunch of them, and I'll show them off once in a while. But it's you can look at your gratitude list and be like, wow, I had 14 things to be grateful for yesterday. I had 11 the day before that. I had 15 this day last week. Things are not as bad as my self-talk is trying to convince me. It's not that your self-talk hates you. It's just an important part of your psyche. It's part of something called, one of my gurus, Deepak Chopra, refers to as the shadow. Your shadow is, you can't, when you live in the light, you can only have a shadow behind you. It's natural. And your shadow has a job. It's there to protect you. And it's there to make sure that you have proper cautions. But also, you have to run your shadow, or your shadow is gonna run you. That's right. It's just amazing the impact that this had on my self-talk. Now my self-talk is a lot more helpful. Now I don't get clobbered with my own thoughts. Now I have the ability to shush my mind a bit. That eternal chitter chatter. The restlessness of the mind. Like, I wake up in the middle of the night to go pee. We all do, don't we? Sometimes, and not in the bed. I mean, they go up and pee in the pot, Aha! Oh no! It's one of these new trains! Haha! Here we go. Let's get all aboard! Everybody all aboard! Everybody take the time. All it takes 6 nickels or a dime. Go make the train or make the party train. Woo, woo. In hindsight, I think they were the Gap band must have been hanging out with Rick James too much in the early 80s. Party train. I think that's code for something sexy. You didn't hear it here! I deny that! I deny people having fun. I've been single for a very long time. I hate people. No, I don't. I'm just salty, man. But yeah, your self-talk. I mean, if you find, it's weird. Okay, depression. I've been depressed all my life, clinically. I had plenty of therapy. It's amazing that therapy did not provide me the gratitude list. I got the gratitude list from an ex-felon who's in a recovery program. It's funny where you get the things that stick. that you're dwelling in despair and self-doubt and tormenting yourself with negative self-talk, that you're in some kind of pit and you can't get out of the pit. The gratitude list is your ladder. And every gratitude you write down on this list is another rung on the ladder that's going to help you climb out of that metaphorical pit. Or allegorical pit, more like it. There's a difference between allegory and metaphor. And it's serious. And then there's simile. I like language. I like words. I like books. Here we are. Well, at a station, not our station. Yeah, now when you're idling at a station, those doors don't stop beeping like that. It's like the drivers don't have a toggle that can shush that. If you're like, I've been on stations for several minutes and it's just like, oh my gosh, am I actually on my deathbed and I can hear the EKG in my fever coma before I see my mother on the other side of the river? You know what I'm talking about. Don't pretend otherwise. Yeah, I had a we had a long weekend. It was Veterans Day yesterday. I'm thankful and blessed and grateful for veterans, for all the people and my friends and my family and all the people I know that have served this country. Thank you. I'm a lifelong civilian, and I really enjoy the freedoms that you help secure with your time and your service, and ultimately sometimes your lives. I mean, seriously. And if you ever notice that Canadians and Britons wear a red poppy flower, it's because they call Veterans Day Remembrance Day, and it's about World War I and about the sacrifices that they sent all their young men to fight this huge war, this huge mechanized war in the mud and the trenches with mustard gas and mortar shells and cannon and bayonets and trench foot and frostbite and poor rations and PTSD, which they called shell shock because they didn't know any better. Because not that they didn't know any better, they were developing a better terminology. And so yeah, that's if you see a Canadian or a Brit with the red poppy flower in early November, that's what that's for. Veterans Day is not to be confused with Memorial Day. Memorial Day unofficially kicks off the summer season, and that's strictly for those who gave their lives to secure our freedom. So we have two armed. There's also another armed service day as well. I think but that's not a federal holiday. So we have two federal holidays that celebrate our soldiers, and rightfully so. And not today. That's right. And I had a good long weekend. I mean, I drank way too much Friday night. Oh gosh, I was so hungover on Saturday. Wasn't that hungover on Saturday. It wasn't that bad, but it's bad enough that it just reminds me, like, kid, what's the point of drinking anymore? It's the inevitable conclusion. It's just, it's sure you're gonna feel good, and I really didn't even snap out of it until like mid-Sunday. Seriously, I went to the pub to watch some of the Patriots game. I ordered a Guinness. I ate my lunch, my early supper. I had a wonderful mac and cheese with buffalo chicken tenders. I ordered a second Guinness, and I'm like, I had to like hay and run. I just was like, no, my gosh, I'm getting clobbered with anxiety and panic, and just like I shouldn't be drinking. I mean, I had like 3 sips of my Guinness and I had to bail on it. That's alcohol abuse. Really, but like, I just got to be like, oh gosh, kid, you gotta someday just make the choice and just go sober. I was thinking about something too, like about serenity. And I don't think that you can be serene or achieve serenity without sobriety. Think about it. Like, we take sometimes, like I've been a cannabis enjoyer for, let's say, a little under 30 years. I started, I became a pothead in my mid-20s, my early mid-20s. And since my mom passed away about 3.5 months ago from lung and liver cancer, I just can't combust and inhale anymore. That's like, no more smoking. And so I switched to gummies, and I found a gummy that really works for me. It's like, and it's really on the light end of the spectrum too. I don't do it to get blitzed. I'm so stoned that I can't cope. Seriously, if I eat too many gummies, I'll have a panic attack. I was diagnosed with PTSD in 2020 by a doctor because I had panic attacks and anxiety. This shit is crippling on its own. It's life-changing. I don't need things to exacerbate that. It's bad enough having it. But even if you're in this state of, stoned cannabis bliss, or even, say, like, under a mind-expanding hallucinogen, like a psilocybin mushroom or ayahuasca, that in itself is not sobriety either. You are under the influence of a chemical. And I'm grateful for that knowledge. I'm grateful for that wisdom that you will find serenity, but only through sobriety. And I guess that's like a wisdom that comes with maturity. I mean, how many 20-year-olds are gonna make that association? No, they need to have some space and time to live and learn. Live and learn. That's the name of the show. Live and learn. I grew up hearing that from my mother. It used to irk me. Or roll my fucking eyes. I get a back of the hand too, in the back of the head. Like, don't roll your eyes at me. Live and learn, kid. Live and learn. My mom said that all the time. And that's why the show is named Live and Learn. After my mom. So yeah, I think the true serenity will only come with true sobriety. And that's my insight for today. Deep Thoughts by Jack Handey. If dogs ruled the world, I hope that size wouldn't matter, because I bet there were a lot of Chihuahuas out there with good ideas. Back when Saturday Night Live used to be funny. Oh my gosh. Did anyone watch Saturday Night Live this past weekend? Does anyone watch Saturday Night Live anymore besides like all the Harris voters? All of you. I saw that map. Wow, a lot of red lights. Very little blue lights. But seriously too, that's like, there's a disparity too, because the popular vote went like 48% Harris, 51% Trump, and then like another, like, there was like 2.3 million votes for Jill Stein, who I voted for, in the Green Party. There were about 600,000 votes for Bobby Kennedy Jr., who pulled out of the race to support President Trump. And then like the Libertarian candidate and the right didn't vote. So there were and you know what? Those 2.4 million votes would not have helped Harris. Even if you added them up to, her totals. Trump still had her beat in the popular vote. And then, wow, it was just called in the news because the Senate went GOP majority, and now the House went GOP majority, and that's like, whoa. Lefties are freaking out, but they've been freaking out anyway. They're easy. They're already upset. They're already oversensitive. They're already, you know, they're already in that state. Now you got women online talking about poisoning their husbands and shit. I mean, like, well, you had Goodbye Earl, like, as the Dixie Chicks, and that was 20 years ago. And that was a popular song with the ladies, you know. Them black-eyed peas, they looked all right to me, Earl. Oh, I like the cute little chubby one myself. Well, actually, the sisters were pretty hot too. Those two, they were the original. I mean, if you want to talk about cancel culture in a modern sense, you know, that started with them in a way. The Dixie Chicks after 9/11 and George W. Bush getting elected, they were like, we're embarrassed to be from Texas because President Bush was from Texas, and they were dropped like a hot potato. You know, something happened behind the scenes, and they never regained the same popularity. Well, they're still pretty popular, and then they changed their names to the Chicks because they're embarrassed of the whole Dixie thing. I'm like, come on. Ugh, but that's progressive lefty people for you. I mean, geez. And I love them. I have plenty of progressive lefty people in my real life. And I got a bunch of right-leaning conservative people in my life. And I'm a kind of like a synthesis of the two. You know? Classic liberal leanings and conservative leanings. So, I mean, I vote on an issue-by-issue basis and a candidate-by-candidate basis. Yeah, I do. And, but yeah, we'll save that shit for Friday, for Apolitically Incorrect Friday. Maybe like an election roundup, wrap up here. And, but stay blessed, stay grateful. I mean, gratitude has helped this person in his day-to-day life. Things are more manageable. My stress is a lot more manageable. My panic and anxiety sometimes are out of my control. Yet overall, things are better because I have gratitude in my life. And it's really adjusted my attitude. Hey, why don't you hit that subscribe button while you're at it? If you haven't yet, please smash that like button, turn on those notifications, ring that bell. I would love to be part of your YouTube day. We might even start doing gaming on the channel. I you know, it's really easy, it's fun, and I'm thinking about it just to have some content out there, you know. It's not for monetization. You can't get monetized. I got a flag on, not a flag, not a strike, but it's just like you can't monetize the stream because of the music. I was playing Super Star Wars from 1992, and I'm like, this will never get monetized, and it didn't. So it's not about that. It's about having a good time, about having a goof, and just, you know, and playing a game. Maybe getting back to that. So look out for that in the future. All right. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again with more videos and more gratitude. Cheers. Bye-bye.